Good morning, it's Terry. Welcome back. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another edition of an Orchid a Day. Before I get started on today's video, if you like videos like this where I'm showing off my orchid jungle as I walk through day to day, noticing the things that need to be paid attention to, repotting, or just any sort of interesting blooms or buds, things to come, then this is your channel. Make sure you press the like button and subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss another one of these videos starting today. So today I'm in the area that I skip by quickly, and in my lives I can never get back here. This is my disaster area that is eventually going to be moved down to the new area that I was showing off last week, but just below here is a bench of various things that are more or less resting. Some are still growing, but for the most part they've slowed down. And I figured that I would go over this tray of plants just as I'm looking at them very quickly. First, here is my it's Guarianthe guatemalensis. I've had this a year. Bloomed for me last year really nicely. Did get two new growths. This growth lasted, and this one has a sheath on it. These carry their sheaths into the spring, and then they bloom. This is just sitting here, which I'm going to have to really deal with and give it some TLC. This is my Magdalena, my Angraecum, but I'm going to move this in the house and somehow try and get it back to shape. If I lose that, it's going to be a long road to getting another one that's bloom size, because you just don't see them bloom size. You only see little seedlings that just take a lifetime. So that's not really on this bench. Down here is my Grisavilla nodosa. It's the Mas, I think it's the Major, not Mas, maybe it's Mas Major. But it's that clone, and it's in spike. There it is. Right next to it is my Grassolalia Petite Stars, which is a Richard Mueller cross. It has previously bloomed. I did get this plant this summer from Nance, so it hasn't bloomed for me. It's putting up a new growth, and at some point I'm going to have to repot that. Back here is just a tray of odds and ends that really are seedlings that are struggling for me, that have no place but here, that I sit in this tray and try to keep it filled with just a little bit of water, not enough to go up into the pots, but they do like it a little bit drier, but not so much drier. Various dendrobiums, that's my biloculare, which doesn't like it drier, but the sphagnum is not bone dry, so it still gets moisture. And back here is a sad looking, looks like it's a dendrobium spider lily that actually put up a new growth that doesn't feel so good, but it's a seedling that I've had for a year. Behind that is another encyclia that is it's got a spike on it. I can't remember which one this was. This was one that I did not repot last year because it wasn't in bloom when I got it, and it wasn't quite as healthy as the others. Encyclia Dark Wings, which is diaticrossed with okay, so that should be interesting. That still will take a while, months, probably not until the new year before that does anything. In front of that is my problem plant. I have many problem plants, but this one is, if I don't give it exactly specific culture, then it will not produce any growths. This is my Cattleya chocolate drop crossed with Skinneri, and the issue with this plant is what I was talking about in my video yesterday. This is a plant that has Cattleya chocolate drop has guttata, which is a bifoliate, and it also has something else. Maybe is it Cattleya boveringiana? I can't remember. But the fact that it has guttata in it means that it goes into a winter's rest. It's typically a bifoliate. Well, it's a bifoliate. So with this plant in particular, once the growths are in progression, you do not water it hardly at all, sparingly, I would say. And if it gets a drop of water too much that it does not like, the growth will blast. Hence, all of these are blasted growths. Now, it has bloomed for me, and this plant is a complete survivor. If it blasts its growths, it will keep continuing to put up the growths. So this plant is really rooting for you to let it bloom, because it is such a survivor plant. But it's got 2 new growths. It's got 3 new growths, actually. This one is still progressing, but these are already matured. I don't see any sheets. So, you know, that's how it goes. They bloom in the spring. It's a beautiful flower. I'll try to find a picture. I know it's bloomed for me, not last year, but it bloomed the year before. This is a Phalaenopsis that I've had for a while. It's just sort of sitting back here. It should be at the office on my desk. I brought it home for a video, a collection video update for November, and just left it here. This is a very long-lasting Phalaenopsis. It's green tint, despite what it looks like on camera. It is Phalaenopsis Star Queen Beauty. And I got this at the fall show in October, and so it's been blooming since then. So that's that. And I know they have those at Hauserman now. Okay, so back here is a tragedy. This is my Elsie Loam Tomb, and it's another one of those bifoliates that I have difficulty growing, and you can see that it's dead. And I did not water it. Maybe the cold was too much, I'm not sure. Moving this way, this is my newly, let me move this out of the way. This is my Path Loei alba crossed with Path Primulinum, and this did bloom for me last year. It's put up 2 new fans, or maybe this is the one it bloomed from. No, I think it's putting up, these are 2 new fans. The old fan that it bloomed from, I pulled off the plant because it died off, and these are 2 new fans. So maybe not this year, hopefully next year. In front of here is my Path Chihuahua Dancer, which is a multifloral. I think it has gigantifolium in it, maybe, I think. But this was, this had crown rot on the main growth. I put some dragon's blood on it, and the main, I don't think I have the main, but maybe that's it. It had crown rot there, and it put up these 2 new growths. So this is still a baby now. So, I mean, this was what the old growth, this is how long the leaf is. So you can see how far it has to go. And sorry this video is so long. Up here, this is my Path Prince Edward of York, Rothschildianum, Prospercendarianum. And this bloomed for me last year as well. And this is a new fan on it. The one that bloomed for me died off. This is still in growth. Gets a lot of sun there. I try to keep it moist, but not overly moist. Right next to this is my Cattleya Chocolate Drop. It's not Kodama. It's the other one, Volcano Queen, maybe. Yeah, Volcano Queen. And this is pretty much a recent acquisition. I got this summer because I lost I used to have 4 of these, and the yellow variety, the lemon drop variety, and I lost them last winter when it was freezing. That's what it was. But it has 2 sheets on it. It came with these sheets, and this one is slowly but steadily filling up. I believe that one is. And the sunlight is shining over this way, so you can't really see into the sheath. This right here is my, no, that's not it. Where is the tag? Because that's not, oh, here we go. This is my Cattleya, but it's probably a Myrmecophila, but it's Rubens Salata. And this bloomed for me last winter into spring. From this long-lasting flowers, beautiful flowers. Put up a nice new growth for me this year, which is here. I don't think it blooms from the sheets. These are just getting no water. So I'm usually seeing a spike, but you know, hopefully later, I don't know, maybe next year, maybe not this year. Right here is sort of, I'm rescuing this. This is an LC Jungle Elf crossed with Cattleya Small World. And this is a product of getting too much water or moisture or something, because the back part of it is trying to rot off. This plant has struggled with scale since I had it. I'm just trying to keep it relatively away from everything, even though it's right here, but it's here where I can walk by it every day and sort of look at it. In front of this is a Borinjana cross. This, not a Borinjana cross, but it's Cattleya Borinjana, the red variety. And I'm glad that I have this, because my Borinjanas all croaked last year, and I had two really nice. Well, my Alba is, no, I probably already got rid of it because it was just so bad. But anyway, so I'm thankful that I have this one, because otherwise I wouldn't have a Borinjana besides the Alba form that I have that's struggling a bit down on that end down there. Next to this is my ever-blooming, well, not ever-blooming, but it's been in bloom for months, the Sensiclia plicata. It's going past, of course, it's way past, but still very colorful. Can't walk past it without seeing it. I'm sorry it's not in focus, but I've shown it so many times, I'm sure you're sick of seeing it. But there it is. In front of it is my Oncidium astrolabium, which is a species that likes, has a very beautiful, fragrant flower. Hasn't bloomed for me for the last couple of years. The new growths are getting bigger than the subsequent growths, and I'm sorry I'm not showing the plant off so well. But the bloom, this is what it bloomed off of, and then it gave me this Pseudobulb, which is significantly smaller, but still fat and plump. And so this is this year's, which is still maturing somewhat, but it would be showing its spike by now. These bloom in the fall into the winter. Like I said, a very beautiful, fragrant flower. It's a species. And right next to that is, what is this? Oh, this is my, hell, let me just pull the tag out. Oh, BLC Destiny Dixon, which is a yellow. I didn't even realize I still had that. Okay, I got this a year ago. This is a white and yellow sort of edging around the petals and the sepals. Gave me that new growth that's sort of reaching out all over the pot. There is no sheath in it though. So it's just sort of resting. And I believe that's this area. Yeah, I don't think I missed anything. I didn't. Of course, yeah, despite them not getting any water, I'm still coming back. Well, I shouldn't say. These paths get water in the Phalaenopsis, of course, but the rest, no. Maybe a dribble, but that's it, pretty much. That's pretty much it. So yeah, guys, hopefully that was informative, and hopefully that gave you an eye into the way I do it, the way that I hold my Cattleyas that are in the process of blooming or just resting. And hopefully this hasn't been too long of a video. And I'll see you guys soon. Enjoy your orchids. Have a good day. Thanks for watching.